you'll actually see something on the property profile that talks about whether it's a homestead or not. Because if it's a homestead, a lot of times you've got to come back and pay all the taxes and a lot more than you would if it was not a homestead. So these are things you need to look into. And by all means, I'm no expert at this point, but I'm moving pretty fast in the direction of learning what I need to make this work properly. I've got a lot of people I can, contact as well. So yeah, there's every county in Texas is different from the next county. Texas is really county to county different, and most states, counties are different from one county to another to some degree. So that's kind of that little thing we want to talk about. I'm going to move on now. We've got a special guest here, Linda Pliagas, and she is the owner, creator of Realty 401 magazine. And this is basically, she has a website that's online that is fantastic for information. I mean, it's an educational thing to get investors to tell us how they do what they do. So I want to introduce you to Linda, and thank you very much for sharing that.
Well, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate your support. I'm very excited about being at the SBREIA because this is actually going to be my new home. My husband purchased a business in Solvang, and we are going to be making the transition from Marina Del Rey, Culver City area to this beautiful market. So you will definitely be seeing much more of me in months to come. So to start, I wanted to give a general overview of who I am, what I do, the magazine that I started, and why I started it. So I'm going to start with a little bit of background on me. I was raised in El Centro, California. I come from, I would say, a middle-class family environment. My father worked in the Border Patrol. He had a secure government job. When we started in El Centro, everything was going great. Then he got the urge to be an entrepreneur and have his own business, which that's something that we all want. It's the American dream. So we moved up to Northern California, to Las Vegas, and he started a business. Well, unfortunately, things didn't pan out so well. He didn't do very well in the business, had some problems with his partners. So long story short, we ended up losing our home, and we ended up going into foreclosure when I was 15 years old. So that experience was very traumatic for me, and at the same time, it gave me a lot of enthusiasm to be successful. I became very motivated. I wanted to learn as much as possible about economics, about real estate. I just always wanted to do better for myself as an adult. It was a really stressful time in my life because as a teenager, you're not really an adult. You can't do things on your own. You can't go out there and get a job and help your parents. And to see your parents struggling and trying to make ends meet, it was really difficult and challenging for me at the time. But it really motivated me, which is the great aspect of that happening. So after my parents lost their home, we went back to El Centro from Northern California. We returned to Southern California, and I was in high school at the time, working, going to school, and then shortly after I graduated from high school, and within a few days I had packed my bags, taken what little money I had saved up, and just came out to Los Angeles. I was ready to make my own life and make my dreams come true. So for the first year of my life, I worked full-time. I was in customer relations, and I had a nice corporate job, which was incredible, being that I was only 18 and didn't have a college degree, but they had made me head of a department at a Toyota Central, which was an automotive facility. So I was saving my money, decided to go back to school. I've had a lot I was little. Every dollar I received as a gift or every dollar I earned babysitting went to support my habit of magazines. And I collected magazines and just always had a real love affair of the printed media. So I decided to go to journalism school and put myself through college. And it was during my senior year at Cal State Long Beach that I had this great idea that I wanted to start a magazine. So I did. I got all my friends together at the university at Cal State Long Beach. During the summer, we put a magazine together. It was a beauty and fashion magazine for Hispanic women. And we were quite successful in putting it together. Within a few short months, I had my first issue out. We were in 13 states. We had Jennifer Lopez on the cover. It was her first national magazine that she ever was on. We were hobnobbing with all the rich and famous people and all the celebrities in Hollywood. It was awesome. So why be in college when you have a life like that, right? So I dropped out my senior year, and I just kept working the magazine. I had for about 6 years, had a great time, met a lot of people, and really learned the business of journalism and how to run a magazine. My partners and I didn't see eye to eye, so we split up after 7 years. And again, that was a very devastating time because I wanted to continue in the magazine business, but I couldn't do it on my own. And at that point, we had gone through a little bit of an ugly relationship, so I just didn't have it in me to try and seek out other partners to keep the magazine afloat. So during that low period of my life, I knew I wanted to make more money, and the reality is journalism doesn't pay very well. It's not a high-paying field. And I always was interested in real estate. I took some real estate classes in college. So I said to myself, you know, I think I'm ready for a change. I want to move away from media. I want to make more money. I want to get into real estate. So I literally started at the bottom. I worked as a broker's assistant. I showed property for him. I dealt with his clients. I started mingling with the brokers. You know, I just assisted him in anything he wanted, and which was great was that my broker was also a creative investor. He was a rehabber, he was a wholesaler, a flipper. So not only did I learn the traditional aspect of real estate, I was starting to learn the creative elements of real estate, which were so beneficial. So I stayed with him for a few years, and he was actually younger than me. When I started working for him, he was about 26, already a self-made millionaire, strictly through real estate investing, buying, rehabbing, selling, flipping properties. And together we really started to learn the business, and I learned from him. So even before then, when I was in college, that's when we got our first deal. My husband and I bought our first property, which was a miracle because we had absolutely no money. I was a college student at the time. He wasn't making that much money. But I stumbled across a house that I absolutely loved, and I was just obsessed with getting this house. So we said to ourselves, how can we get this house? Well, we offered one of his relatives that was fairly well-to-do an opportunity to lend us money, and we would in turn give them a higher return than what they were currently getting at the bank. So it was an opportunity for them to lend us money to get into the house. They were going to make more money every month, and their money was going to be secured with the asset, with the property. So we got the down payment for the house that we needed, and then the bank still wouldn't give us a loan. We just didn't make enough money. So my agent, God bless her, because she came up with the idea, said, why don't we get the seller to carry the second note? And she approached him, and he went for it. So we basically got our first house